city of Chicago immediately go to court. So that's going to be our first line of defense, is getting a court to issue a TRO or other injunction against that activity.
That was Illinois Governor J.B. Pritzker preparing for legal action ahead of President Trump's planned enforcement operation in Chicago. This comes as the mayor of Broadview, that's a western suburb of the Windy City, sent a letter deeming a town building as a primary processing facility for operations lasting up to 45 days. Governor Pritzker encouraging peaceful protests. I want to bring in Illinois Congresswoman Mary Miller. Congresswoman, I want to get your reaction to all of this, in particular the fact that the governor is going to take legal action because President Trump wants to help him solve his crime problem. Help me with this disconnect.
Well, first of all, President Trump is not deterred by the threat of legal action. He has been enduring lawfare for years as he tries to do the right thing for the American people. I want to say, J.B. Pritzker, why was it okay to bring the National Guard in a year ago to protect your buddies at the DNC, but you will not let them come in to tamp down crime? Sadly, Chicago is the murder capital of the United States. The murder rate in Chicago is 3 times that of Los Angeles, 5 times the murder rate of New York City, and 15 times the murder rate of Delhi, India. Unbelievable. And if one more person dies because he won't let the National Guard come in, that is on J.B. Pritzker. He is a self-absorbed and failed governor.
Interesting that you say that. I want you to listen to David Axelrod, of course, Democratic strategist, used to work for former President Barack Obama. You know, the library is being built there in Chicago, we should say, the Obama Library. Listen to his advice to Pritzker.
Be careful about playing 28 politics on this issue, because the right answer is we'll take all the help we can get, as long as it's appropriate help, as long as it's stuff that will really help. Send us the resources that we need. We want to work with you. If there are if there are people doing violent crimes here who are illegal immigrants, we want them out of our city. We'll work with you on that.
Congressman, what's your reaction to that?
Chicago is a beautiful city with so much potential, wonderful people, but people are fleeing the city, businesses are fleeing, and I have to say, I have not heard one time of J.B. Pritzker meeting with the families of victims. Communities and families have been terrorized by the crime there, and it's obvious that he doesn't care about people. He is all focused on his presidential election.
Well, you know, there's something else that it's something. Ms. Marie asked me about this earlier in the week, and I wish I'd had this answer. But Theo Hardiman, who is he runs Violence Interrupters in Chicago, and he basically says, let's all work together to fix crime in Chicago. But it's the why. Why is the city so violent? Listen to his reasoning here. He said it's poverty, inadequate housing, unemployment, underperforming schools, underfunded transportation system, disparities in pay, and he goes on. I mean, so these are issues that should be fixed by the mayor of Chicago or the governor of Illinois. So this, I think, gives us a wider idea of the failures of these politicians to keep people in Chicago safe.
But the first failure is safety, because if people don't feel safe, they aren't going to thrive. Businesses are not going to thrive. And, you know, people just need to quit pushing the D button and voting for these people that clearly do not care about them.
Yeah, absolutely. I want to ask you about this. President Trump's Justice Department is moving to block a new Illinois law. This extends financial aid for illegal immigrant students, including in-state tuition and scholarships. Congressman, what is your reaction to that?
I mean, J.B. Pritzker's legacy is that he has supported criminals over the victims. He is supporting illegals over the citizens of Illinois. So illegals have been getting free college, but this is expanding it. He has rolled the red carpet out by us being a sanctuary state, and of course Chicago being a sanctuary city. And we are picking up the tab. We are spending billions of dollars that we don't have for illegals that have come into the state.
Well, you know, the other thing, too, is that I'm curious about how you feel that Brandon Johnson, pivoting back to him, handled the migrant crisis, because while other cities, blue cities, were putting migrants into hotels, what we saw in Chicago was migrants that were living at O'Hare Airport. So I can't help but wonder if there's political blowback on Johnson for that.
Well, there should be, and I want to say that the Trump administration is very serious about deporting illegal immigrants. Under Joe Biden, he advertised and facilitated the absolute invasion of our country, and now President Trump is left with the mess to clean up. And like I say, very serious about deportations, and that American people want that. We have immigration laws. The American people deserve to know who is coming into our country and what their intentions are. And the illegal, the Venezuelan gangbangers are getting a foothold in Chicago, and that needs to be dealt with immediately.
It's interesting you brought that up, Congressman, because I've read, I think this was in the Chicago Tribune, about that's part of what's really torn apart the city is those rival gangs, Tren de Aragua, the Venezuelan migrants, and then you've got the local gangs that have been there for years. So that's unfortunate as well. Before you go, I do want to ask you about a little bit of business. Just 11 legislative days left for Congress to avoid a government shutdown. Democrats are taking a hard stance against President Trump's proposed pocket rescission. Senate Appropriations Committee Vice Chair Patty Murphy is urging Republicans to ignore OMB Director Russ Vought. He's pushing a proposal claiming, clawing back $5 billion in funding. That's the rescission. And a federal judge has blocked the president's pocket rescission, saying it's illegal, Congresswoman. What is your reaction to this? Do you support the idea of a pocket rescission?
We have to get these cuts made into permanent law. And however we end up funding the government, there's a lot of back and forth going on right now. We have to keep the cuts in and make them permanent in law. Our national debt is a national security issue. And before Joe Biden left office, he just pumped billions of dollars of taxpayer money out and wasted it. And it's a complete shame. And there again, President Trump is going to have to deal with the problem that Joe Biden left.
Yeah. All right. Well, Congresswoman Mary Miller, thank you so much. It's great to talk to you about all the problems in Chicago as well, in your home state. Thank you, ma'am. Appreciate it.
Yeah, you're welcome.
All right. We've got